Okay. All right. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. We are live. We are live for the beginning, for the start of the Cade 24 qualifiers. Thank you so much for joining us for day two. Yes, it is the regional qualifiers for the Southern series, featuring the games coming from the Southeast and the South. It is the Cage qualifiers, and so far so good. We are off. WZ Villain already with a win on the board, but let's jump into the game between 12 and GCD 110. So in this game so far, not too much has happened. It all looks closely matched. 12 with a rating of 1,964. GCD 110 with a rating of 2,134. So compared to last night's fixtures, these are very high rated games and they look very promising at this stage. Presently, we can see the person of I believe it is ED already advancing to the top square, looking to cause havoc, looking to cause mayhem to the person of Shin 12, who is now threatening his rook. There may be a possible exchange here. Yes, as predicted, those were the exchanges. And now we will see the person of GCB look to further advance his pieces into the final squares. But anything can happen right now. Anything can really happen right now, and a lot of danger from both parties. You can see this threat check from the person of Shin 12, and then you can see this possible advancement to checkmate from the person of GCD 110. So both parties are really having a go at each other. Both parties are really taking the game to each other. So I believe that means that what we should expect some really exciting sort of event. But time is not on everybody's side, and this game will soon come to a close. How are these guys going to see to the end of it? And this might be dangerous for the person of GCD, as his pieces are now under serious stress, because this is threatening checkmate. He just left his pawn on, I believe this is the pawn on C. Yeah, this pawn on C6. He left the pawn on C6 unchecked, and he's now allowing Shin to threaten checkmate. And he is threatening checkmate, but I do believe he should be able to counter this here. But whatever happens from here, it does look like Shin is going to continue to stop the movement of GCD, but GCD has been able to gain material advantage, and White has resigned, Shin has resigned, and GCD is victorious in this game. They move on to other games. As you can see, GCD with a win, Villain with a win, and the other players still battling it out. 15 players in this lobby, 15 players already set up in this lobby, and the games are no easy feat. Let's jump into Oblivion versus Israel and Yaogu. So you can see Oblivion and Israel going at it against each other. Game still very early, but time is already running out. Like, um, okay. Do give me a moment break. Do give me a moment, just to sort out some technical difficulties, and we will be back. This particular game is playing in the background, but my audio may be. Thank you so much for staying with the stream. Okay, thank you for staying with us. Thank you for staying with us. As you can see, 3 seconds on the clock. It's like Oblivion will be able to win this game on time. Israel, under a lot of pressure with no time on the board, he is going to lose on time, and Oblivion is victorious in this round, and he secures his first win of the game. And let's jump into another fixture of the, I believe right now, Villain has 2 wins. GCD has 1 win. Oblivion has 1 win. Mino gets 1 win. KG also with 1 win. Mark Chinedum also with 1 win. These 6 players are the first 6 players to get something on the board. And now Villain versus Mino get. Who go get time for this one? Will it be Villain? Will it be Mino get? Let's see how it both plays out. This is the South South and the Southeast qualifiers for the Cage 24 ECHES Championship, and so far so good. The games are still early on. Villain unbeaten, Mino get unbeaten, but Villain has 2 wins. Mino get only has 1 win. Villain with a rating of 1,452, which is unconfirmed. It may be higher, it may be lower. Mino get with a rating of 1,574. That is their lead ratings, by the way. But players could also be using platforms like chess.com or other chess, or even physical chess, which may mean that they may have higher or lower ratings depending on how they do play on these devices. But so far so good. Both players are going well at each other, and yeah, it's a really fair game so far. Nobody has really done anything significant to suggest major advancement, but we can see the pawn of villain on white, Mino get on black. The pawn of villain is already on d5, and is threatening a higher level of advancement, but these are still very early days. We could see a rook. Yes, I was expecting the castle right there, and that would probably mean more advancement into the square of into the squares of Mino Gate, and the game could go either way. We can see this D flat looking like it's going to pose a huge threat to to the players right now, and it is not looking good for the person of Mino Gate. He is about to face checks and threats, and it's not looking promising for it's really not looking promising for him. And how this game is going to play out will be interesting to see. But so far, both players are having a good go at each other. I do expect this piece right here to now move to this flank. I may be right, I may be wrong, but it is like that would be the likely outcome, either after 1 move or 2 moves. You can see he's trying to get out of the way. There's just so much pressure right now, and it could force a lot to happen, so much that is just being set up by villain, and he is being a real villain in this one. Nino Get does not have the replies or the responses to counter him. It looks like something may happen, but it's not going to be checkmate just yet. But you can see that there is not so much that Mino Get can do. Although Mino Get, kudos to him, is putting up a very very good fight, but the person of villain has just been amazing in this one. It looks like he is going to checkmate right there. And I won't lie, those were grandmaster moves. Those were really, really good moves. Like maybe grandmaster might be a bit of overkill, but those were really, really good moves from the person of villain. They are very difficult to counter in this case, and Mino Get was checkmated, and Villain gets his third win of the game. Villain already on 6 points with 3 wins. KG on 4 points with 2 wins. Oblivion on four points with 2 wins. Mino gets getting his first defeat of the day. Chidera also with a win. GCD also with a win. Let's jump into the game between Oblivion and Martine Doom. Martine Doom with a rating of 1,472. Oblivion with a rating of 1,849. Oblivion on black, Martine Doom on white. And you can see Martin Edun just having a very interesting setup with his knight, his bishop, and his second knight, all kind of like holding important squares along that along the middle of the board, and those center plays are going to be critical. We see he's getting all these important pieces out into the open, out into the center of the board. It could go well, it may not go well at the same time, but so far so good. It looks like he is prepping up for an attack. It looks like Oblivion is prepping up for a decent attack. What is going to happen here? What is going to happen here? It looks like there may be a trade-off with a rook, seeing rooks and seeing some power pieces being traded off here. If it does happen that way, but so far, it seems the players are not so shy of what is about to happen, and it it seems Martinez in that case had to retreat, and but Oblivion did attempt some really good attacks where he's trying to force the knight of Martinez out of the way so that he'll be able to push his bishop into this flank. So he's trying to force this knight out of the preceding square so that he can advance his bishop further. And he's looking to put a lot of pressure on this D7 square. He's looking to put a lot of pressure on the D squares in particular, and just trying to move the pieces of Martinezum around just so he can put up some really good offenses. And ooh, could that be costly? Could that be costly right here? Did he not see this? Will he lose his bishop? Or is there a piece of the play that Martinezum just isn't seeing? But trading out a bishop for a pawn, it seems there was something intriguing that was to consume that. But I think he might have also missed it as well. And yeah, that could be interesting to see. Um, see to the end, just to sort out one or two things once again. Thank sorry, sorry for the break in audio transmission, and we are back. So far the game is getting closer to the end. 2 seconds left for Martin again. It looks like Oblivion will secure this win. Oblivion on black has secured his, I believe this is his third or second win of the game. Yes, Oblivion. Oh, Oblivion with his third win of the game, I believe. And we can jump into the matchup between Azazyme and Shin 12. We have not watched a game from Azazyme so far. But this looks like a really interesting one. Can't say which, can't say how the dynamics are going to play out, but it looks like Shin 12 on black has a bit of material advantage that Azazyme may not have. Azazyme with a rating of 1563, Shin 12 with a rating of 1953. So based on ratings, we would expect Shin 12 to have an advantage, but we've seen throughout the course of this competition, these advantages are mere numbers. So with a happen here, it looks like it's it was scheduled to happen. But yes, so far there have been some really good plays from Azazyme, but will he be able to convert these plays into significant victories? He is moving around the board in a very fortuitous manner, and it does look like a couple things are working out in his favor. But will he be able to convert this into wins plays? Will he be able to convert it into winning moves? He will come under some major threats very soon, and he is not able to come up with so good of responses. And Team 12, I think he just has to be patient to see this out to the end. He does have positional advantage. He does have material advantage. He has a bishop on B2 that is about to advance. And but based on time, he was just not able to see the game to the end. Azazine gets the victory by winning on time. As they say, time in itself is a skill, and Azazine in this case has proven to be a victorious one in that matchup. Villain going up against KG. Villain now on 4 wins with 8 points. Nobody is keeping close except KG. So I believe this is a game. This is a first versus second game, and whoever does win this game is going to be more or less go top. KG will tie up with Villain, or Villain will run away with the game. So far, Villain has been undefeated in um this series of fixtures, and there isn't so much that has not gone his way, and it looks like this game might just be one of that. A huge material loss to Villain in this case, and KG does have strong material advantage right now with a bishop. He leads by a bishop, and it is working out in favor in these early stages of the game. And it does look like he is going to continue down that path. Whether he's able to keep at it remains to be seen, and depends on how he's able to manage it. But he has material advantage. He also has time advantage, and it's up to him to play his cards right. Basically, it's up to him to make his marks when necessary. And so far, it looks like there will be some threats here. He won't be able to castle, and it's going to be interesting to see how his pieces are able to recover. But I do believe there should be some movement here. If there isn't a capture here, he has chosen not to capture. But I think he's in a safe space right now, depending on whatever the queen is going to do. But there are a lot of things that can go either for or against, and he is under some really good pressure. Like, there are some things we're not seeing in this game, and Villain may be able to pull a fight back that could really disrupt this game. There is a lot that is going on presently, and there is not much in terms of response from the person of KG. Although KG is doing very well, KG on black, Villain on white, Villain being pushed to the wall. His queen is under threat. His backline is under threat. I believe he's panicking at this stage, because he does not have too much in terms of responses to the persistent attacks of to the persistent attacks of KG, and KG is really making his moves, and he's just giving it back to back. He's just throwing it all. He's just throwing it all at Villain right now. Villain does not have the responses that for the attack that KD is giving to him. And it does look like a checkmate might be coming very soon, as Villain just continues to compound and compound and compound with the attacks. He's just taking the pieces, and now he has two. Villain has nothing else left. 8 seconds on the clock for Villain. He has lost most of his pieces. He has lost his back line. He has lost his front line. Only a rook to his name, and Villain will get his first defeat of the night. Congratulations to KG. He keeps his 100% win streak. Villain has been defeated for the first time tonight. KG rating of 1,590. Villain rating of 1,627. I do believe these players have to be reviewed. I'm honestly going to call it to the mud right now. These accounts are fairly new, and so we may have to run some reviews based on how these people are playing right now. So it's important that we do review these accounts to ensure that all plays in this game are fair plays. So big shout to the mod to do check out these two players, the persons of KG and Villain, for the games that they are putting up right now. But let's jump into a game between Bosukemi and Martine Doom. I want us to stream a game that for of someone who hasn't been streamed so far, and this is Bosukeme or Bosukim. I pardon me if there is some pronunciation that I am missing out. But yeah, Bosukim versus Martine Doom ongoing right now. Bosukim has the material advantage. Bosukim on white, Martine Doom on black, and so far so good from both sides. We are seeing attacks go back and forth between both players, but I don't think there's so much that Martin can do right here. Is it going to be stalemate? Yes, it is a draw by stalemate. Martin able to force a draw on the King with 4 seconds on the clock, and that does end in a stalemate. Martin Edum, 2 wins and a draw. Bosukim on the other hand with 1 win and a draw. 15 players in the lobby, 4 players yet to register a win on the board, and we have KG and Oblivion running away with it on the board with Villain now in third because Oblivion has 4 wins, KG has 4 wins. It will be interesting to see the game between Oblivion and KG at some point in time, or Oblivion and Villain at some point in time. I'm really looking forward to one of those. But presently, we do have Villain versus Vovos. Vovos with a rating of 993, Villain with a rating of 1534. And this does look like it could be fairly straightforward between both players. I'm rooting for Villain to win this one, but as you know, it's a game of chess. It can go anybody's way. Yes, it can go anybody's way. And in this case, it may go the way of Villain, but that's for us to watch. That's for us to see and enjoy. So far nothing too amazing, but I won't lie, Vovos has come out strong in this one. He does have material advantage in the form of in the form of a bishop to a pawn. How he was able to secure that, I do not know. But Villain, after a very bright start of 4 wins in a row, he it looks like he's coming under a bit of pressure. It looks like he's coming under a bit of pressure in the competition, and he's not able to sustain that early momentum that he built up. But will he be able to plow back? Will he be able to fight back? Will he be able to come up with something that shakes up the game? Um, it will be interesting to see if he is able to do that. But so far, not too much to suggest that. I don't know if there will be something here that just move this into this position. Um, I'm not quite sure. Something may play out, something may not play out, but yeah, I guess it's the other way instead. But I don't think this is promising because yeah, he's going to have to take it, and now he's threatening the rook. So whatever the plan was there, it looks like it is about to pay off. Is Villain falling into a trap? Is Villain falling into a trap? Is there something that Villain isn't looking at? I don't know. I can't say. I can't say if it is, but it's not all rosy right now for the person of Villain, and it looks like he is going to continue some form of onslaught. I do not know exactly what Vovos is going to do right now, but Vovos does have good material, and but he is there is a lot that is happening. There certainly is a lot that is happening on the board, and there certainly is a lot that could happen in a very short time space. But so far so good for the person of Vovos, who did miss. I think he just missed something rather important. He can't threaten. There are some things that he can't do right now that are going to work out in his favor, and he's not having the worst day, I would say. There are some things he can do right now that would work out in his favor. But yeah, whether he is able to pull those things off, it will be interesting. Still relatively early days. Still relatively early days. Surprisingly, he chose not to capture. Okay, the bishop was then under protection, so he couldn't capture it. But very interesting series of events. Very interesting series of events, I must say. Will Vovos end up victorious? Time is now beginning to run out, and the players now will need to begin to calculate. They will need to become more calculative with how they approach the rest of the game. You can see Vovos just one pawn, just one piece differentiating the entire game. He has been able to. Oh, that fork did not go as he would have wanted to, and I feel Villain would be able to see this game up to the end now. I do not expect Vovo to be able to properly counter. He's down on time. He's now down on material. Villain has been able to turn the game around. And is there are there still some twists? Are there still some surprises in this one? Doesn't look so much like it. Doesn't look like it so much. But he has been able to capture. No, he's not able to capture. Time has run out. And Villain get back to winning ways with a win on Vovos. So so far KG 5 wins, Oblivion 5 wins, Villain 5 wins, DCD 4 wins, Shin with 3 wins, everybody else with 2 wins or 1 win and some draws in between. But so far, the top three is between KG, Oblivion, and Villain, and all of them are going at it out with each other. Let's watch the game between Israel and Azazyme, or do we watch the game between Gaius and Nino Get? Which games do we watch? Of Villain and Martino Doom? Okay, let's jump into Gaius and Nino Get. We've been watching a lot of the other characters who have been amazing and who have been blossoming in this competition. Let's jump into that of Nino Get just before we go into an ad break. But so far, um, Mino get on black, whilst Gaius is on white. Very technical game. Could go anybody's way. Could really go anybody's way. But we can see the person of Gaius now retreating to protect his backline. Very cautious of his backline at this stage. Um, and it's going to be interesting to see what he comes up with. He's very cautious of his backline. He's just looking to build out from the back basically. And yeah, it does look like he has a solid plan for how to build out from the back. A lot of things he can do, a lot of things he also can't do, but he is on a good path to just bring the game up to the end. Yeah, presently, no, I don't think he needed to make that move. I think he could have made this move here. 9 seconds on the clock for Mino get 15 seconds on the clock for Gaius. Gaius has now lost his bishop, and it's going to be very interesting turn of events right now. Um, Gaius on white looks like he does have time advantage. Looks like he also has material advantage, and he has been able to see this game off. No, he wasn't able to, but he has been able to just pass the game down. But it could end up not. This could be a tie. This could be a tie, and it is a draw by insufficient material. Gaius was wasteful towards the end game. He threw away what was more or less a confirmed victory. Right here and here, why did he move? He didn't need to move away. Like Gaius, Mino gets already moved behind his piece. He could have just chosen to move behind. He already has good advantage in terms of positioning. He did not need to sell that game, but he sold it and it ended in a draw. A game that he was well on his way to winning and he sold the game. Had it been once this move has been made, he just moved his king into the h5 flag, into the h5 square. He wouldn't have lost this game. He would have still ended up winning this game, but we threw it away, and it ended in a draw. And Aminu Get, who had already lost the game, ended up coming away with something, and that's why it's important to never give up. So we are going for a commercial break. Oblivion first place with 5 wins, KG second place with 5 wins and a defeat. Villain has gotten a second defeat of the game. He has 5 wins also, but 2 defeats now. GCD has 4 wins and 1 defeat. And yeah, it will be interesting to see how this game is after we go for this short commercial break. Do stay with us. It is a very, very amazing series of competitions from the Cage Southeast and South South Championships, and we will be right back. Thank you.
In a world where pixels meet passion and every click ignites a new adventure. A world where anime characters come alive and game developers' dreams meets gamers. Get ready as we usher in a new era of gaming greatness. This is not just an event, it's a journey. So buckle up, power up, and get ready to unleash your inner gamer.
Do you love playing video games? Or in gaming? You can also step into the light as a professional esports player representing one of the biggest teams in Nigeria or Africa. So I guess you've landed on the right page, because here we take you into the world of games, gamers, and gaming, from tournament organizing to game shows, podcasts, you name it. You get to meet the best of the best in the esports industry right on this page. So make sure you share to someone, follow, and also subscribe to all our platforms. We're Game Evo Esports, the world of games, gamers, and gaming.
To wake up to a new reality.
Hey gamers, ever wish you could challenge your opponents from any part of the world while making cool cash? Now you can with Game Prize. And here's the kicker, signing up is completely free. Game Prize isn't just any gaming platform. You can wager on your favorite titles, engage in third-party wagers, and even host your own tournaments. The possibilities are endless. Whether you're a seasoned pro or you're just dipping your toes into the gaming world, there's always something for you. Join the Game Prize community. See you at the leaderboards.
Hello gamers, it's your girl Jeannie. Today is the day actually going to determine the Case 24 champions who's going to represent Ghana in the Case 24 finals in Nigeria in November. We are here at Esports Academy at Ghana, Accra, and we're having the games for EAFC 24 and MK1.
How many tournaments now?
Honestly, I've lost count.
You've lost count. Yeah.
Let's catch him in the shot. You know what? I don't want you to say anything. That's one expression for me. How are you feeling after that win?
I'm feeling good. I knew I'll win this game.
You knew you win.
Yeah.
Okay, we are back. Thank you everyone for sticking with us up to this point. Um, and yes, the games have continued to go on. We can now see KG on 12 points with 5 wins and a defeat. We can see GCD with 5 wins and a defeat also. Villain has fallen from first place to fourth place, and it's a very back and forth. It's a very back and forth lobby between KG, GCD, Oblivion, and Villain. Even Martinez is coming up the ranks now on 9 points. You can also see Shin 12 also on 8 points. So players are not too far away from each other, and so far they have done very well, very well to just keep the games very competitive, which is what we love to see. This is what we love to see. And in this game, Shin 12 is giving GCD a tough time. It looks like GCD is also going to move up and down the ranks a little bit with this one, as he's about to be shaken up by Shin 12, who has 6 points material advantage. That is too significant to take for granted, and Shin 12 is having fun with that. He is having fun with that. So I do believe this is his intended next move. Oh, there was Black is victorious. So yes, Shin 12 on Black ended up winning on time. GCD witnesses another defeat, a second defeat of the night, and Shin 12 has now moved up to fourth position. Villain is now in fifth position. Let's stream a game from Villain just before we go into Shin 12 versus GCD, but it does look like Villain versus Volvo happening here. Villain looks like he is about to lose on time. Unfortunately, what is happening to Villain? From 4 wins back to back, he is now losing out on time and he cannot secure this game. He cannot confirm the end of this game. And Vovos has won on time. And Villain, from being first on the board, has now dropped to fifth. Villain is now fifth. After 4 wins in a row, he has only gotten 1 win from 4. And he is struggling. Let's jump into this first versus fourth matchup between KG and King 12. Because Villain is no longer leading on the table. It is KG who is running away with it now. And now this game between KG and Shin 12 has started quite nicely. Shin 12 trying to play the time game. KG looks like he wants to be the more calculated person here. But these games can go very fast and they can happen very quickly. And it looks like it's the person of King 12 White is looking to open up that middle flank, looking to threaten this bishop and this rook to do a lot of damage on this flank. The game is opening up, the lobby is opening up. It looks like the person of Shin 12 is about to cause more and more damage, and it is going to open up. It is going to open up. It is going to open up very quickly. Very quickly it will open up, and it looks very distressing for the person of KG, because Team 12 has started out quite nicely and is looking to just continue along that path. It is going to be a very interesting phase coming in so far, and you can tell that the board is opening up, but you do not know what direction it is going to go. A lot of things can work out at the same time. A lot of things may not work out, and both players have to be very intelligent about how they approach it right now, because you can see KG already having a lot of lined up pieces, just looking to go at KG from the get go, not giving him any chance, not giving him any opportunity. Look at how many pieces are just lined up right where he is, and there are so many other opportunities for him to just penetrate his way into the flanks of King 12, and it looks like it will come to an end very quickly. I do expect him to just capture this, maybe come back a little bit and then force checkmate here. I don't know how effective that would be. I don't know how effective that would be, but it is in his favor, and he's not slouching. He's not making any wrong here. KG is in trouble. KG Black rating 1631, Shane 12 rating 1963. KG is in trouble. If he does not get his movement right, if he does not get his next move right, he is in big trouble. And Shin 12 looks like he's ready to end this game here and now, and KG doesn't respond. KG's queen is probably have to get the rook out of the way. If he does get the rook out of the way, the bishop is right here. He's in trouble. Like this pawn is a sitting duck at this stage. It's a sitting duck. It can't do much. It can't do much right now, and it's just a case of, can KG end this game? Can he bring this game to an end? The pawn can't move, and KG's next move is going to be fatal. It is going to be fatal. I don't think he has anything else left in this game. It's checkmate. It's check. But Shin 12 is the one to make the play right now. I think he can just proceed to check here. If he presses check here, he's in for a very sweet checkmate in the next maybe 2 to 3 moves. You can just threaten check here. I don't know what he's waiting for. Time is going by and Shin 12 is not making any moves. But he does have this game in the bag. This game is over. Like, this game is over. I think he just wants to play around with time. But am I the one reconnecting? Is he the one reconnecting? What exactly is going on? Just need to confirm that I have not disconnected. No, I've not disconnected. It's Shin12 that is just choosing not to play. Seconds on the clock. What is going on? Is Shin12 aware he has to play now? Or is it my network? Is there something up with network? Because I'm not understanding what is going on. Okay, I think it may be my network. I want to apologize if anybody is having any network difficulty, but I know my stream is not facing too many issues, but it seems there is a drop in frame rate, and I would need to review my network settings. Apologies if there are any network issues that you are seeing right now. Okay, I believe Shin 12 did win that game. Apologies if anybody faced network difficulties. I'm also struggling to understand what just happened now. But Shin 12 did end up victorious in that game. Yeah, he did make the right moves, and yeah, KG gets his second defeat of the game. So one thing we can say that has been happening in this lobby is that nobody is a certain guaranteed winner. Everybody has to hustle it out. Like this is a really really competitive competition where everybody is hustling for their point. KG on 12 points, 2 defeats. GCB on 12 points, 2 defeats as well. Oblivion on 12 points, 2 defeats as well. Then on 10 points with 4 defeats. Villain has not found this game easy. He won the first 4 games. It looked like he was on a roll, like nobody could stop him, and now he's just 4 wins in the first 4, and now only 1 win in the last 5 for Villain. He has struggled. He is struggling, and this is a really painful one for him to go through. But I do believe he does have other things up his sleeve if he is able to figure it out. So let's jump into the game between. We've watched a lot of KG, but let's jump into Martin Eden versus Gaius and see what these players are cooking up. I cannot say if the network difficulties are from my end or from somebody else's end, but I am keeping watch of all of that. But right now we can see Gaius treasuring Martinelli with a rating of 1,426, Gaius with a rating of 1,285, Gaius on black, Martinelli on white. And so far, so good, but I believe in as much as Gaius has material advantage, Martinelli has more activated pieces. But Gaius may be able to activate the other pieces that he has on his board. Although he's not being given the chance to, but he needs to do so quite like in a really short space of time. And he's trying his best so far. And if he's able to open up the board a lot better, then I do believe he should be see this game to a decent end. He does have good material. He may just need to protect this backline. right here, but it's a very risky set of events, and the possible outcomes are still unknown because it could go any which way. But it is surprising. There's a lot of pressure on this pawn, and the pressure is going to keep coming. You can see a threat to the rook of to Martinez rook, Martinez on white, Gareth on black. He will capture this pawn here. Oh no, he is going for check here. And what is the counter move? Uh, is that what we would have hoped for? I'm not sure. I'm not so sure. I think it would have been better off just capturing this pawn here and preventing further threat from his opponent. But he does have his pieces well set up. All his pieces have now been activated, and it is up to him to come up with the clutch moves, the moves that are going to win the game. It is going to be up to him to come up with those. But how he's going to do it, he has to figure that out, and it's starting to open up. It is starting to open up, but very difficult to predict how it will go. Gareth does have material advantage, and he is using it quite predominantly. But that advantage is not enough. It's not enough. You need to see the game off, and I feel that's where he is going to start facing difficulties in seeing the game off. Very tricky play of events. But does he have the capacity to see it off? That is something that you can only watch and see. But not so bad from him so far. So far, not so bad. But yeah, Gaius with only 11 seconds left, Martinez with 40 seconds. Looks like Martinez has the time advantage. Gaius, like we mentioned some minutes ago, he just has to be able to see it off, and it doesn't look like he's going to see it off, unfortunately. So this doesn't look too much in his favor. Time is running out. 8 seconds. He doesn't have a counter. He doesn't have a possible play, a possible series of plays, and it looks like he is going to lose out on time. There isn't much he can do at this point. It's game, set, match, um, and not much he can do. It's Martinez win on time, and Gaius is defeated. So Martinez moves up to fifth. Villain having a very horrid turn of events. Oblivion versus GCD. GCD has now moved up to first place. KG has dropped to third place. KG from first place has now dropped to third place. So let's watch the game between GCD and Oblivion, who have had some really interesting turn of events, battling it out in first and second. So far, it looks like GCD has the material advantage of a bishop, or is it a balanced out game? I think the game is still fairly balanced out. Some decent exchanges, but Oblivion on white does not have a second bishop, and GCD does not have his 2-9. So okay, they have been trade, but it's still a fairly balanced market. But what is the advanced game going to look like? This is first versus second. This is GCD versus Oblivion. Whoever wins this game moves up the ladder and begins to compete for the winner's title in this series of rounds. And if it go anybody's way, can't go anybody's way. But whose way would it go? Whose way is it going to be? Can see that you can see the person of GCD looking to set up here and further put pressure on the pawn on the mid lane. I believe if he does set that up, he would then look to drop this pawn just to be able to break up that pawn structure. on the pawn structure on c3. Yeah, he would look to break the pawn structure on c3. But as he's looking to break that pawn structure, his opponent is also looking to break his pawn structure. But if he does break that, he still needs to travel down here. And even if he does travel down, this bishop is still guarding the h8 flank. So there's still a lot that needs to go his way. But so far, it is going to be interesting to see who does what here. And yeah, it looks like there is an opening that could favor GCD in this one. GCD is attacking the pawn on d4. The pawn on d4 is under threat, and if that space does open up, you could see a lot more happening and opening up in this particular round. Uh, Not quite sure what is about to happen or what is going to happen, but you just know something is going to happen, and it could happen at any point in time. I believe that's good defense from the person of Oblivion. But what does he do next? What he does next is just as important as what he is doing now. Both players countering and recountering, and there have been trades which have come in, and it looks like GCD ended up victorious with a pawn and coming out with a pawn in that one. But so far, Oblivion with 35 seconds on the clock, GCD with a two-pawn material advantage, looking to just see out the game. Oblivion has a knight. How does he advance with that knight? How does he further threaten with the knight? Is he able to do so much more? Is he able to do a lot more? Is he able to apply pressure when necessary? GCD with 1 minute and 25 seconds, it looks like he just has too too much in terms of time advantage. Nobody should ever have that much time, but it does look like this could be happening here and now, and there is a lot on. But will he be able to protect himself? It does look like there is danger, there is fire on the mountain, but you cannot tell who is going to run where. He may have to repeat, yeah, he may have to repeat his queen there just to be able to reset while supporting his next line of action. Phew, very tight game, very tricky game. You can't say who's going to make the next deciding move. You can't predict it just yet. And he made the move to trade pieces, and now it looks like he just wants to advance his pieces further up and be able to play off the game. 1 second for Oblivion, lose out of time regardless of how he plays it. Those extra seconds, will they be able to pay off? No, they won't be able to pay off. And Oblivion has been defeated. GCD goes to the top of the leaderboard, and for the fifth time, this may be the fifth time tonight, the leaderboard is changing. And Villain, who started out really great, has now only won one game in his last six, and he has not been able to keep up with the pace. He has not been able to keep up with the pace. So, two very, very interesting turn of events. Very, very interesting turn of events. Leaderboard just keeps changing. You cannot say who's going to be on top. But Gaius is doing well. He has had some one-off defeats, maybe once every 5 games, but he's putting in good series of victories just to stay on top. GCD first with 16 points, Oblivion second with 16 points, Shin 12 is third with 14 points. KG is fourth, from first to fourth with 12 points. KG has fallen off a little bit. Um, You see Israel, who is now fifth with 12 points. Gaius sixth with 11 points. Martin Edom with 11 points. Villain from first he has dropped to eighth. It looks like he has just broken down. He is not able to keep up with the same pace that he started with. Villain is struggling, and will he be able to win this game? I'd expect him to win at least one game from all of this, but so far not so good for the person of Villain. I want to say a big thank you to all our viewers who have stood with the stream up till now. Thank you so much for sticking with us. The games are continuing to go on, but we will be going on a short ad break. Do stay with us, and we will be right back.
In a world where pixels meet passion and every click ignites a new adventure. A world where anime character come alive and game developers' dreams meets gamers. Get ready as we usher in a new era of gaming greatness. This is not just an event, it's a journey. So buckle up, power up, and get ready to unleash your inner gamer.
Do you love playing video games? Or a professional live streamer in gaming? You can also step into the light as a professional esports player representing one of the biggest teams in Nigeria or Africa. So I guess you've landed on the right page, because here we take you into the world of games, gamers, and gaming. From tournament organizing to game shows, podcasts, you name it. You get to meet the best of the best in the esports industry right on this page. So make sure you share to someone, follow, and also subscribe to all our platforms. We're Game Evo Esports, the world of games, gamers, and gaming.
Time to wake up to a new reality.
Hey gamers, ever wish you could challenge your opponents from any part of the world while making cool cash? Now you can with Game Prize. And here's the kicker, signing up is completely free. Game Prize isn't just any gaming platform. You can wager on your favorite titles, engage in third-party wagers, and even host your own tournaments. The possibilities are endless. Whether you're a seasoned pro or you're just dipping your toes into the gaming world, there's always something for you. Join the Game Prize community. See you at the leaderboards.
Hello gamers, it's your girl Jeannie. Today is the day actually going to determine the Case 24 champions who's going to represent Ghana in the Case 24 finals in Nigeria in November. We are here at Esports Academy Acho, Ghana, Accra, and we're having the games for EAFC 24 and MK1.
How many tournaments now?
Honestly, I've lost count.
You've lost count. Yeah.
Let's catch him in the shot. You know what? I don't want you to say anything. That's one expression for me. How are you feeling after that one?
I'm feeling good. I knew I'll win this game.
You knew you win.
Yeah.
Yes, so thank you everyone. The fixtures have the first round of events have come to an end, but do stick around. Round two will be starting very, very, very soon. Round two will be starting very soon. As you can see, GCB finishing first with 16 points with a performance of 1,985. Oblivion finishing second with 16 points, a performance of 1,770. Shin 12 finishing third with 14 points, a performance of 1,645. KG fourth with 12 points, Israel fifth with 12 points, Gaius sixth with 11 points, Martinedum seventh with 11 points. Villain, sadly, after a very bright start, finishing eighth with 10 points. Bosukim ninth with 7 points, Minoget 10th with 7 points, Azazyme 11th with 6 points, Vovos with 6 points, and Tenitiga and Kingsley on 0 points each. So we will be starting with round two very soon. You can just stay tuned to the leaderboard, follow up on the players. The winning players here, both the high tier and the low tier, will be going at it against each other to determine who will move into the grand finals, consisting of both the west, the north, and the south east and south south. So do stay with us. Round two of this match round of fixtures will be starting very, very soon, and we will be going live. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you everyone for sticking with us thus far. We are back. We are back, and yes, we are back for the final round of fixtures before we do move into into the grand final. So this is to determine the high tier, the low tier, and the people who will be qualifying as well. So the first game of the night, as you can see, is between Villain and GCD. GCD, I believe, finished first place. Villain around 7 or 8. So far, Villain does have good advantage. There's a question of whether I will be able to sustain it. And we know Villain is known for bright starts, and in this one, it seems to be continuing on that path. It seems to be putting pressure, putting pressure on the person of GCB, but he's running out of time, and he needs to figure out the time game. The time game is always important, no matter how skilled or talented you may be as a player. You need to know how to play on time. You need to know how to be on time. You need to know how to make time work for you, and you need to know how to figure out time. And that is something that is very important, very very important. So presently, we can see Villain running out of time, 6 seconds on the clock. Hopefully, he's able to secure it, but I perfectly doubt he will be able to. There is just not enough time for Villain. Although GCD only has 10 seconds left on the clock, 9 seconds, and Villain 2 seconds. Will he be able to make anything happen? No, he won't. He has run out of time and he has lost the first game, and we will move on to other games. Um, GCD has lost the first game, and sorry, Villain has lost the first game, so we'll be into the second game. I believe the second game is going to be between, permit me to just confirm the participants in the second game. And we are seeing a fixture between the person of, okay, wait to confirm that. Um, so the first game between GCB and Villain falling short on time, and GCB coming out victorious. And now we have the second game that will be happening between. Okay, waiting for the players to jump into this one. Players are not yet in. We do await their joining. Before we do continue, let's just go on a short ad break, and we will be right back.
In a world where pixels meet passion and every click ignites a new adventure. A world where anime character come alive and game developers' dreams meets gamers. Get ready as we usher in a new era of gaming greatness. This is not just an event, it's a journey. So buckle up, power up, and get ready to unleash your inner gamer.
Do you love playing video games? Or a professional live streamer in gaming? You can also step into the light as a professional esports player representing one of the biggest teams in Nigeria or Africa. So I guess you've landed on the right page, because here we take you into the world of games, gamers, and gaming. From tournament organizing to game shows, podcasts, you name it. You get to meet the best of the best in the esports industry right on this page. So make sure you share to someone, follow, and also subscribe to all our platforms. We're Game Evo Esports, the world of games, gamers, and gaming.
Time to wake up to a new reality.
Hey gamers, ever wish you could challenge your opponents from any part of the world while making cool cash? Now you can with Game Prize. And here's the kicker, signing up is completely free. Game Prize isn't just any gaming platform. You can wager on your favorite titles, engage in third-party wagers, and even host your own tournaments. The possibilities are endless. Whether you're a seasoned pro or you're just dipping your toes into the gaming world, there's always something for you. Join the Game Pride community. See you at the leaderboards.
Hello gamers, it's your girl Jeannie. Today is the day actually going to determine the Case 24 champions who's going to represent Ghana in the Case 24 finals in Nigeria in November. We are here at Esports Academy at Ghana, Accra, and we're having the games for EAFC 24 and MK1.
Yes, how many tournaments now?
I'm connected already. Honestly, I've lost count.
You've lost count. Yeah.
Okay, so we are resuming with the game, and I have with me Landlord. I have Landlord with
No, 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 no.
and
Okay, yes, please.
and
I'm
yes,
good over
we
here.
are live. We are live. So the current game is between Israel and Yaogu and KG. So 1 minute 18 seconds for KG, 1 minute 26 seconds for Israel and Yaogu. So what do you have to say about this game so far, landlord?
Well, I've seen that GCD has been quite a formidable player. His moves have been quite precise and forthcoming. I would like to see how he ends up in this tournament.
Okay. Although the present game is between KG and Israel, so I'm just going to drop the link for you to join in. So the present game where KG only has 1 minute 11 seconds left, Israel has 50, still about 55 seconds left on the clock as well. But both players are giving it a decent goal in this one. So it's going to be interesting to see how
Oh,
it all comes to an end. Presently, KG has material advantage of a rook, like a full grown rook, and it looks like he's just going to threaten to the end of the game. What do
oh yes, and I can see that they both have bishops on the black squares, and so I'm sure in a matter of moments, Israel won't be able to escape anymore because his bishop is going to be locked out any moment from now. And I can see a checkmate is upon us.
you say? I can't say so much for checkmate, but although time is running out, 30 seconds left on the clock, KG has 50 seconds left on the clock. So I feel it's likely to end on time than it is to end on 30. I'm not so sure about the checkmate coming in. What do you think?
Eh, the only piece that he has that has the power to do something really doesn't have much squares to run to. His black bishop. So I think the moment KG begins to bring his king into the game, it'll be all over. As you can see now, the bishop has been pinned. So if yes,
It's
if yes,
yes. So
I'm
even
even shocked that KG had to do all this without involving his king. That's quite impressive.
yeah, I think he wanted to involve more of the pawns, just advance the pawns and just even if he's not able to, even if he's not able to capture even if he's not able to check without it, just be able to force the pieces, move things around, and just force something to happen eventually. And I guess that
Yeah.
worked out for him.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
Good, quite good.
so let's confirm the next game. I believe the next game will be starting very soon. But how has the competition been for you so far? How have you seen it? Um how has everything turned out? Is it up to your standard? Is it is it up?
Just
Yeah, what do you think?
just one name, GCD. I don't know. I didn't quite start the beginning of his matches, but I saw the moves he was making. They were quite precise. He seems to have everything under control. Like he knows what he's doing. I would like to see how this tournament ends up for him though. He's a good player.
Yeah. But so far we've seen the northern qualifiers and we've seen the southeast and south qualifiers. But tomorrow is the western qualifiers. Yeah, what do you have to say with regards to that?
Yeah. Well, since the did not happen yesterday. I played in that same tournament though, so the tournament wasn't quite, not to brag here, but the tournament of yesterday wasn't quite a problem.
Hmm.
I would say that because yeah, yeah, I got to know that not all players that registered actually got the chance to join. So I believe some more impressive players were left out. But let's see how it goes out for the Southwest and for the South.
Hmm. Well, let's see. I believe tomorrow will be for the southwest, and it promises to be amazing because that's where you have players like Zlata. I believe that's also where you have players like Dakord. I know some of these players who have participated in previous tournaments who just love to bust.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Wow!
So
It's not their first rodeo, so they have some bit of experience.
oh, very, very, very promising experience. I know with community media, in the past there have been about 3 competitions that have been organized along that line. So Well, with those competitions, these guys have just been consistent, and I know that there are some boys from Unilag who would also be participating in this particular chess competition as well. So
Those boys from
promises to be
Unilag.
very the West promises to be very hot, and I don't know who's going to take it, but a lot of eyes are on Zlatan and Bakod. I believe both players
I
are
don't I
yeah.
I don't think I have seen them play. I would like to see their games. I would like to see their games.
Hmm. I believe we'd all like to see their games, even the fans, the supporters, and the viewers as well. But those guys are they are hot. I believe today's games were of a higher difficulty level than yesterday's games, and I do believe the Southwest games will
Mm.
also be of a much higher level as well. But let's see. You can't tell which region is going to win at this early stage. Time still has to play its course before before you can decide. So let's watch and see. Let's watch and see.
True,
Yeah.
true, true.
But let me try and bring up the leaderboard from earlier today. I'm going to share that with you as well, so you are just able to review it. I believe that was the
Uh,
first link of the night. So yeah, that's one we could just go over to review each participating player and talk about how they were able to progress through the competition. I believe everybody did give their best, but at the end of the day, a winner just had to come out, and the winner in this case was BCG. It was this sorry GCB, followed by Oblivion, followed by Shane 12. And I don't know if you've been able to check your Discord yet.
oh yes, yes, I have. I can see that GCD had a win rate of 80%. That's quite impressive. That's quite impressive.
Yeah,
But I can see also Oblivion too had the same win rate.
yes.
Wonderful. Wow.
But I think GCD beat him in a particular game where they both faced each other. I think GCD came out victorious, and I think his performance was also higher. I'm guessing that was the differentiating factor here.
Okay. I see. Also, Shin wasn't far behind. Wasn't far behind.
Yeah, just one win away. Just one. That just tells you how crazy one win can be. One win can really change the
One win
dynamics
away.
of how the game goes. Whether you're on top or whether you are not. One win is really the deciding factor in all of this.
Yes, yes. I can see also that there were lesser draws today than there were yesterday.
Yeah, as of yesterday, there were a lot of draws. Today, I think there was only one draw. Let's say two draws. Yeah,
Two
two
draws,
draws.
yes.
Yeah, throughout the course of the entire game, only two draws. I believe as of yesterday, we saw a series of draws, about five or six. A lot of stalemates, a lot of insufficient material draws. Did come out from that.
Uh, I was a victim to one of those conditions. Stalemate.
Yeah,
I had a mate in one by mistake.
yeah, I was
It
not
happened. It
sure
happened.
how you missed it, but yeah, it does happen. You can never really tell how those will play out. But
Mm, yeah.
today's real shocker in terms of like real shocker for me was Villain WZ Villain. If you check this
What is that?
leaderboard, he finished eighth place, but he started with four wins in a row. Four wins,
Wow. Wow.
and after those four wins
Wow.
in a row, he only got one win in six. After starting out with
No, 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 no.
four wins in a row, I do not know how to explain that
I
because
don't think
yeah,
it, I don't think it's normal. I think it has to be a network problem. What do you think?
I don't know because some of those games he did lose them on time. Some of those games were lost on time, so you could give him the benefit of the doubt that okay, maybe time wasn't on his side, and it might actually be network. It might actually be network because if he's having network issues, then it's going to affect how quickly he's able to play, and that's going to affect how quickly he's also able to respond to the game. So they may give him the benefit of the doubt of time, but it just seems like one in six after four in a row is just how do you explain that going from first to eighth whilst everybody else is just grinding up, considering that
Just
were,
grinding.
were
Yeah.
the pace setter. So the link for the next game is in your Discord, and I will be jumping into that game right now. So okay, between KG and Israel and Yaogu, I believe this game has ended. KG coming out victorious in this one. Israel not able to respond to him. KG with two victories back to back, and Israel didn't really have the response to meet up with KG. But what do you think?
AJ, I think I saw one of the games they played, didn't I? He came out on top twice. Wow, that must be quite commendable. One would think, oh, after the first match, maybe on the second try, Israel would have tried to squeeze out even a draw, but KG seemed to have everything under control.
Yeah.
That's quite impressive.
And if you look at the performance also, KG with a performance of 2,189, and Israel with a performance of
Wow.
103. So two passes in terms of performance also.
Yes, yes. He played way above his KG played way above his rating.
Yeah.
He's, it seems today is his day.
Or it could be that probably he plays on chess.com and maybe his rating is a little behind on Leeches. So maybe that's just what it doesn't add up. But look at
Oh,
Israel.
oh, oh.
Israel has a high rating on Leeches, but in this particular game, performance was really low. So I don't know how to really explain that, but it just seems like it didn't really go as they would have planned for it.
Usually, I think the difference between light chess and chess.com is on chess.com. Okay, no, on light chess, most people you see with ratings of 1.8, 1.9, 1.7, 1.6, that range, that 400 range, I usually between like 1.4 and 1.6 on chess.com. Chess.com has a stricter way of awarding elo points. So so looking at KG here, I believe KG should actually be rated 16172 on chess.com if I'm not wrong.
All
But
right.
he just played absolutely well. That's why his performance got to 2-1.
Okay. So if you check the current game, we'll see Martin going up against Oblivion. The game has started. Martin Edum now with time of 2 minutes 13 seconds. Oblivion with time of 1 minute 35 seconds.
It's 5
And
seconds. Yeah.
yeah, it's so far nothing too much to differentiate the players. But what do you think in terms of their strats and positioning?
It seems Mark Chinedum has the upper hand because of how open Oblivion is. If you look, if he starts to push the pawns on the F file, you will notice that things can get quite messy now for Oblivion in a second. But who knows? Let's just see how it goes.
Yeah, and that is true. He doesn't have a white bishop, and that means his queen is going to have to do the bulk of the work in terms of filling up those white gaps. Whereas Macedon has his white bishops all set up. So
Yeah.
and if you look at the position that white bishop is holding, it's just cutting across half.
It's too powerful.
Yeah, powerful and it's protected as well by both a pawn. When the bishop is protected by a pawn, it's just a menace.
It's irremovable. It's irremovable. As you can see, we began to see the pushing of pawns on the um let's say the H file now on the G file.
Yeah, some more pawn advancement between F and G, just trying to for that mess up that mid lane, but he is doing a lot with his queen just to you can see Oblivion just doing a lot with his queen just to move things around and just force something to happen basically. And he
Wow.
has been,
Wow.
he has been able to.
Wow.
That was a very brutal series of moves, and I don't think
No.
and that's I think that just spells further doom for Martinez from a game that was very promising to a game that has been turned on its head. Poof.
Wow.
How do you explain that? How do you
And now that Oblivion has a knight, he can just keep on jumping, 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 causing lots and lots of problems. As you can see now, we've seen the rook slide to the a file now, trying to just sweep up and
yeah,
clean up all the mess. I think the game is going to be over soon.
yeah, resignation has come in. So unfortunately for Martinez, after a very bright start to the game, how did that happen? How did that happen? Let's just review through some of the start was good and it looked like Martinez had something going. Looked like he did have something going at some point. And yeah, you had good material. So what just happened? What just happened? I
I think the mistake he made was he left the his rook on c8 to just like keep on eyeing down on the other rook. If he had exchanged, I'm sure he wouldn't have been in this mess. Now the exchange became unequal when Oblivion brought in his queen to give some checks. If he had just just done the needful and just exchanged his pieces, I'm sure Oblivion wouldn't have had the chance to, create the uneven exchange that happened there that led to the resignation.
Yeah, I think he also made an error when his king was put on check. He could have just brought his rook down. Had it been
Yeah, to block.
yeah to block, but he didn't block. He moved his. I think he was trying to prevent further like threats and checks. And in the process of doing
Yeah.
that, he just opened up his king his rook to an easy capture, and he did not. He wasted no time. Oblivion wasted time in making that exchange. And just very unfair, very easy. He just saw it out to the end. So that capped it off, and I think that sums it off for this particular game. Your final reviews. Your final reviews.
Well, in my case, I think next time Martin shouldn't have thought of hanging on to pins. If he had just cleared off that rook, I'm sure by now he would have had a fighting chance. He didn't even make use of spaces he had created. I mean, at the beginning of the bout, I thought he had the upper hand because his pawns were further down the board than Oblivion's, but it seemed just a lapse in concentration just cost him the game.
Yeah, and it's cost him greatly, and um, sadly, sadly that will affect him. I don't know if a game two will go on, but pending when that game does begin, we will be going for a commercial break, and once that commercial break is over, we will be right back. So do stay tuned.
In a world where pixels meet passion and every click ignites a new adventure. A world where anime character come alive and game developers' dreams meets gamers. Get ready as we usher in a new era of gaming greatness. This is not just an event, it's a journey. So buckle up, power up, and get ready to unleash your inner gamer.
Do you love playing video games? Or a professional live streamer in gaming? You can also step into the light as a professional esports player representing one of the biggest teams in Nigeria or Africa. So I guess you've landed on the right page, because here we take you into the world of games, gamers, and gaming. From tournament organizing to game shows, podcasts, you name it. You get to meet the best of the best in the esports industry right on this page. So make sure you share to someone, follow, and also subscribe to all our platforms. We're Game Evo Esports, the world of games, gamers, and gaming.
Time to wake up to a new.
Any part of the world while making cool cash. Now you can game prize. And here.
So we are back for a continuation of the stream. Thank you so much for sticking with us. And presently we are seeing the fixture between GCD and KG. I don't know if this is the semi or this is the final of this particular southern, southeast, and south south qualifiers. But this is one thing we can say is that this is a really big game. GCD versus KG. These players have really fought it out. I believe KG was second place. KG was second place in the grand. Yeah. Okay, no, KG was fourth place with 12 points, and GCG was first place with 16 points. And presently GCG on black already has a piece in terms of material advantage, but KG is not too far in the grand scheme of things. What do you think, landlord? Landlord, are you there? Okay, so it seems we might have lost landlord a little bit, but the game is still going on. We can see KG trying to play things around. KG on white, rating 1650, GCG
Yes,
on
you
black.
can see GCD is about crowning a new piece. He's about to, you know, get a queen, but KG had to make a
Sacrifice.
he had to make a smart decision right there to just take away the pawn. But let's see how far he can. Yeah,
Yeah, at this point, it looks like KG just wants to save time. I don't know if it would be able to, work as he would want it to, but he doesn't have the material he needs, and that would cost him. Um, but it could make things work out. Chess is a very crazy game. You can never really tell how it's going to play out. You can only sometimes watch and see how it does play out.
very, very.
Hmm. But I do not,
Well, I think
I do
KG
not,
just made a blunder now. If he had pushed his pawn to a5,
I
he
don't
had the chance to threaten checkmate. But
think, I don't think he will come back from that. It keeps like the expensive mistakes that he made. He's losing on real, and it looks like KG just proceed to to conquer. And I don't think he really has much that he can do at this stage. I don't think he has so much that he can do. and got a lot.
Wow. That was close.
Yeah, he was just able to prevent it, and
KG is still trying his best to.
yeah, to fight back. He
Yes,
was
yes.
ready,
KG is still
but
trying his best to.
with
Oh, game over.
yeah, he just has to see the game out. And
Yeah,
once again,
that was.
GCD, not for the first time
Yeah,
tonight.
his emotions were everywhere. But
Yeah, I think there were a lot of close calls, but I think we have to give it to GCD. He had more composure, more more aura in the game, just to put KG off. KG just couldn't keep up in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. So your review of the game. So I believe now we
again,
have
we've
guys.
seen another game with the Bishop being.
Hmm,
Are we having another game already?
yes, we will be going on with another game, but we can just review this KG versus DCB game pending when we do start that other game. Yeah. So what are your reviews on KG versus DCB?
Oh, okay. Again, with the pawn being protected, with the bishop being protected by the pawn, we can see how powerful it is. He didn't even need to move it, need to move his piece all about the place. He just kept his piece well protected. In fact, that move that he made, bringing his bishop there, was what prompted GCD winning his other rook, because he had to make he had to make a decision. If he didn't take that piece, then GCD was going to crown and get another queen. Would have been it should have been game over from the onset. So this bishop and pawn combo once again for the win. I think I think
Okay.
it's becoming a norm
So
now.
a game is about to come to an end now. We have Gaius versus Shin. So Shin has 12 piece material advantage, but only 10 seconds on the clock. Gaius has 20 seconds on the clock, 8 seconds on the clock. Um, Shin has all the material advantage, but he does not have all the time in the world, and he's just trying to see the game out. 7 seconds, 7 seconds, 14 seconds. Will he be able to checkmate? I do not know how he wants to do it, but something needs to happen. And something needs to happen fast. 6 seconds on the clock. Gaius on 10
It's,
seconds, and it looks like
it's going to happen
it is going to happen. And Gaius,
in one.
there is no way he's going to prevent that. Shin 12 is able to secure technique, and that is victory for Shin once again. And I believe it's going to be Shin versus GCD to determine the winner of this Southeast and South South qualifiers. Wow, that was a very quick game. Although I don't know if there will be a round two. Will there be a round? I think it's a best of three. No, Shin confirmed.
I think so.
I think Shin is the confirmed.
They played two games already.
Yes,
Oh yes, he's confirmed the winner. He's the confirmed winner.
yes. So I believe the next game now is between. I believe Shin should be going up against TCB for to determine the winner at last. So TCB has played KG, Oblivion. Okay, Shin played Gaio. So next game will be Oblivion versus Shin, and then the winner of that game would play GCB versus KG. I believe GCB has already played KG, so right now we are waiting for
Yes.
Oblivion versus Gaius to play, and then the final will be happening. So yes, road to the finals. GCB versus KG. GCB already stamping his victory over KG. In the match that we watched prior, where KG just couldn't keep his composure to to see away the gameplay of GCB. And then now we've seen Shin versus Gaius with Shin coming out victorious to play against Oblivion. So if you look at Oblivion was second place, Shin was third place. So this is the second versus third place playoff from the qualifiers that from the leaderboard series that happened earlier today.
Mm,
So okay,
mm.
promises to be really exciting. Remember, these guys only had yeah, GCD had was on 16, Oblivion was on 15, and Shin was on 14. So Oblivion versus Shin,
Yes.
it promises to be a good one. It promises to be a tight one. It promises to be a very tight one. So Shin versus Oblivion, I believe that is what we are waiting to see right now. And whew, how is this going to go? The players who were first, second, and third are still going to be first, second, and third in this one. KG is confirmed fourth as he lost to DCB. But who is going to be joint fourth? Will it be Oblivion or will it be King? What do you think?
And I've seen Oblivion's games, and they were not near wins. Unlike Shin that just had a narrow escape. So I believe Oblivion will come out on top.
Hmm. That's a very bold one. I don't think Shin has any surprises up his sleeve that we'll just see him clutch up the final two fixtures of the night.
I, um, who is GCD facing again?
GCD played KG and he came out victorious. So that was the game we watched before the game between Shin and Gaius.
Oh yes, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's true.
So GCD is already confirmed to go into the finals after defeating KG. So now it's Shin versus Oblivion to determine who will face GCD for to determine the winner. So Shin who finished third place
Yes.
versus GCD who was second place. And I believe the links have
Let's
dropped.
see. Let's see if they will maintain their. let- Let's see if they will maintain their rankings. Right.
Yeah, who will be able to see it off? Who will be able to see it off? So we will be jumping live into that right right about now. Right about now, the link has dropped. I believe the game would have started, and we should be between 15 to 20 seconds into the game. So do confirm the link in your DM, and I will be confirming the link right on screen
Yes, I
as
have.
Shin goes up against Oblivion.
Yes, I can see the game.
Hmm.
Wow, that was a lovely move from Oblivion. A lovely move from Oblivion.
Wow, Oblivion really taking it to Shin very early on, and well, will it really count? 1 minute gone from both players, and Oblivion already has a bishop that is that he commands, and will he be able to convert that material advantage into a victory? He does have the capacity. You can't take that from him. He has proven that he does have the capacity to see off games. But can Shin do
Is
something?
that a blunder? Oh my God, no! That was a blunder by Shin.
Oh, would that be a
That
resignation?
was a blunder by Shin. That was a blunder by Shin.
He just queen for not
Wow, he
for
moved his queen to G7. Ah, no, 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 no.
oh that's going to hurt. I don't know how he's going to come back from this.
That was too easy. That was too easy.
Oblivion will be jubilating right now. Like he would have been expecting a very difficult game, and
I see that both opponents were following on the platter of gold. Just got wow, 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 wow,
yeah,
wow.
sold off just like that, sold off just like that, and nothing, not
I can see now that Oblivion will be happy to just trade off all the pieces because there's nothing. There's no battle again. He's happy to just exchange everything.
Yeah, he is. And right now, it's just a race against time. Like just play the time game, exchange pieces, and just see it off to the end. The lower tier semis are also
Wow.
going. This is the high tier semis. The low tier semis are also ongoing because for each rank segment there is the low tier and there is also the high tier. And I believe the low tier in this case is Vovos versus let me confirm the opponent for Vovos. It is Vovos versus one sec, just confirm that. Vovos versus Bosukin or Bosukene. I pardon me for mixing up that name. In this game, Oblivion did lose out on time. Oblivion lost on time. Oblivion had serious,
Oblivion lost on time?
but Shin had a 1 minute advantage and he was able to see that off. And
Oblivion lost on time. How is that possible?
Oblivion is not going to the finals.
Wow.
Oblivion has been knocked out on time. So currently ongoing is Bosukin
Wow.
Bovos.
Wow.
Bosukin, this is the semi-finals for the low tier. Bosukin is up by 7 points in terms of material. Vovos is down and is also down on time with 20 seconds left on his clock. He's trading out materials, but it looks like he may not be able to do much. I do not think doing much here. It looks like a straightforward win for Bosukin, unless something is to happen that changes the tide of the game. It looks like he is going to crown off his king. Bovo's only 8 seconds on the clock, but the team has a queen and he has 6 seconds on the clock. There is no coming back there is no coming back for the person of Vovos. He is going to lose on either time or he will lose by check. One way or the other, something is going to happen and he will not be winning this one.
Checkmate in two. Checkmate in one. Okay. Um,
Yeah, and white is victorious on time, and that is the end of the game. Bosukin knocked out. Sorry, Bosukin proceeds to the finals for the late game, and Vovos is confirmed to be knocked out. So, I believe right now we just await the finals for both the low tier and the high tier, and
that's between Shin and GCD, if I'm correct.
yes, so it's going to be Shin versus DCD for the finals of the high tier. Then the low tier,
Right.
I believe we will be seeing Bosukin versus whoever is confirmed to face him in this particular round. And it's been a really exciting round of pictures and really good shout out to all the participants. They've been committed, they've showed up for all their games, kept competing against each other, and it's not been a bad competition in terms of fair play and sportsmanlike and the sportsmanlike spirit from all the players.
Hmm. I would like to see who comes out on top for the low tier.
Yeah, for the ITA we're seeing GCD versus GCD going up against Oblivion, but for the high tier it's Bosukin versus I just need to confirm who he will be going up against. And yeah, so but we will be going. Oh, the finals for the low tier are now live, so I will be sharing that with you straight away so that we can jump right into it. It's been a really exciting night, and now we are in the finals of the low tier. Low tier is the person of Bosukin versus just need to confirm his opponent is. Okay, I would also be sharing it with you so that you can also review and preview. So we do confirm receipt of that, and let's jump straight into this final between
Yep.
Bosukin. His opponent is yet to join. The game will be starting in 1 minute and 30 seconds, so we do have some time to properly set up for this matchup. Um,
Yes, we can see this one through now. We don't have to join midway.
yeah, both players are waiting for the second player to join up in the lobby. 1 minute left. If he is unable to join, I think that would crown Bosukim as the winner for the low tier. And since there isn't for the high tier, it is going to be GCD versus Shin, and that matchup will start once this low tier matchup is concluded. But if the opponent to Bosukim does not join in the next 40 seconds, I do believe Bosukim will be confirmed winner and grand champion of the low tier. So that's really huge congrats to him, at least for still keeping in the fight, because there will be some that just because they went in the top two or the top three, they would have given up on the game. But I think he just still seeing everything to the end, even though he isn't in the upper tier level, as proven to be rewarding for him. It really has, you know, 7 seconds, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, and I believe both the team will be confirmed winner. Okay, the game should be live now. I don't know if his opponent will still be able to join, but whatever the case is, he is present and time is running. And I believe once the time has been concluded, he will be confirmed. He will be confirmed winner of this matchup.
I can see his opponent has joined, but I don't know if the game is still going to go on. Okay, yes,
Oh yes,
the game just started between Bosuki.
yeah, the game just started between Boston
Go on, please.
and Azazine. So you can observe how their openings are. So what do you think about the opening so far?
I can see both of them are going for the English, the conventional, bishop to bishop out here, the black bishops out, getting ready to castle. I'm seeing you know, more of the attacks will be happening on the king side because they've opened up I mean, as Azime has opened up the queen side, so I don't think it'll be castling long. Yeah, just the conventional English opening. Let's see how the game is going to be.
Okay. So I've also shared with you the link to the ITF finals, which is also ongoing. So we will be streaming both the ITF and the low tier time simultaneously, which is an amazing one to see. So who do we settle with? Who do we watch? Because these are two good games. So in the low tier, we have Azazin with a rating of 1,570 and Bosukin with a rating of 1,566. Very closely tied up game. And then you have Shin versus VCD. Shin with a rating of 1,144 and with a rating of 2,124. So on both tiers, both players are evenly matched. You can say they are evenly matched. And it promises to be exciting.
Yeah, but
Yeah, please go ahead.
the match between the match between GCD and Shin, I can see GCD is already ahead in development because all his pieces seem to be coming together, and then the knights of Shin they they are still sitting. So hopefully, for the sake of Shin, GCD doesn't start to throw his knights into the center of the board, just to start causing problems.
And, I believe both players do have their nice skills sitting. Just that at this time, Shin seems to be the one to be advancing further with his knights. But not so much around the center where you would expect him to be doing damage. The king is on the right side, the knights are on the left side. So how that is going to lead to a proper advance. It's going to be interesting, but I do believe at some point GCD's lines will start coming into the fray, and I believe soon enough. So how do you see it playing out? How do you see it playing out?
Well, I can see they're already in the middle game. So each player now is just, trying to win pieces, trying to gain advantage. I can see they're following conventional middle game theories of putting their pieces and putting their knights at the center, you know, solidifying them up with pawns. So this game is going to be a tight one. I believe it's going to be a time constraint that will determine the winner. I don't see anybody coming out on top here.
Hmm. Presently, we can see them both players trying to surround that bottom, um, trying to cover that A flank, that A flag, and looks like whatever happens
Yeah.
to that line is going to kind of like determine the course of the game. But there, GCD chose not to trade. Shin has a pawn material advantage. How important could that be towards the end game? How important could that pawn be?
I mean, having a pawn advantage in such a tight game that includes just knights, it's wonderful. You can see Sheen retreating his knights to protect the pawn on c6, and I can see GCD now advancing his pawns. This game is going to be a close one. I can see Sheen to having just 57 seconds left on the clock. You know, I don't know how GCD intends to win this because it seems it's quite tight.
Hmm. And it looks like she's trying to force the ninth of BCG to move backwards. I mean, he has done exactly that. And we can't see check being threatened here. But what can Shin do from here? Shin third place finished in the previous match, and now he is exchanging pieces. But will he be able to do more than that? He does have the opportunity to take two pieces, but he doesn't want to leave the pawn behind. Looks like he's trying to force a bad move from GCD. Both players are equally matched on time, and it's going to go down to the wire in this one. 8 seconds left in the low tier game. It looks like Azazime, even with small material advantage, will not be able to see it up to the end. 3 seconds. Bosukim will be your champion for the low tier as he is confirmed victorious on time. Bosukim is the champion of the low tier as Azime was not able to capitalize on the advantage he had as he lost out on time. And now Bosukim has been confirmed the champion of the low tier, whilst Shin and GCD continue to battle it out for the high tier. And just in the high tier, we can see that GCD has now lost his ninth, and and Shin looks set to see this game up to the end. What do you think has happened here? What do you think has happened here?
I think, you know, just like I said before, Shin followed every principle, and I'm sure we'll see a checkmate now. Wow, wow. That was a good game. That was a good game. That was a good game.
Yeah, and that was so
Shin coming out on top, very unexpected. Everyone expected GCD because he has had a wonderful tournament. We all expected him to come out on top, but it seemed he knew something we didn't. Apparently, good game from both of them. Good
yeah.
game. Good game.
If you look at because there was a point where this Shin only had a pawn advantage. But if you look at when they started threatening the king of GCD, there was an error that the king made that just allowed this Shin to capture the bishop to capture the knight of GCD, and I think that just ended
Nice.
the
Yeah.
game. Yeah,
Yeah. I'm sure GCD lost his concentration after that mistake. mistake after that blunder.
Yeah, it was a blunder. I think he was trying to prevent his pawn on G4 from being captured. He was trying to protect the pawn on D4 from being captured. But in the process of trying to protect the pawn from on D4 from being captured, the pawn on E3 got captured, and as that pawn got captured, the knight which was on C5 was exposed, and Shin would just go on to capitalize on that. And uh, not much would happen again after that. So that felt the beginning of the end. And Shin played his game fair. And I mentioned that Shin could turn things around in the final two games, and that's exactly what he has done. So give this to him for coming out victorious. First to win no be who go top victory last last, and Shin has shown us that. Yeah, I think it's been one of those
Oh,
nights where the person who started out winning just didn't see it to the end. I think it's been one of those nights. What do you think?
yeah, yeah. I actually had my money on GCD after seeing, his opening games. So I thought confidently that, oh, this should be an easy battle for him. But when in fact I realized that the mistake he made, the one that you noted out, was due to a time constraint because I noticed he was already down 20 seconds when he made that blunder. So he didn't really have many options again. This was the moment he lost his knight, it was an already predictable outcome.
Yeah, and there was not too much you could do at that time, and that just felt the beginning of the end. And yes, as it is the beginning of the end, it is also the beginning of the end for this stream. Thank you so much, landlord, for joining us tonight. Thank you so much for joining the commentary team and commentating with us to see to the end of this game. Bosu Kim is the champion for the low tier.
My pleasure.
Shin
Thank you very much.
Shin 12 is the champion for the high tier. And what do you have to say to keep things off?
Well, Bosukim, actually, if you notice, if you saw their game, he was down on material because he was down. His queen had been taken up, but still on still, he managed to squeeze the win from Azazime. I I just think he knew what he wanted. He knew what his plan was, and he went for it. So good game to Bosukim. And then for the high tier, GCD had a lovely tournament. Winning about 4 or 5 games in a row. If not for I mean, shit happens. So if not for this unforeseen mistake, I believe he would have won the tournament. But he still qualifies anyway. So kudos to GCD Shin and third place Oblivion for a wonderful tournament.
Yeah, kudos to them, and we hope to see them in future tournaments. And for now, we say good night to everyone and have a wonderful rest of the week.
Right.